We're going to start today on our backs. And make yourself comfortable. So you might like bending your knees, you might bend them and rest them together, or open them out, or have the legs straight. See what feels good to your body. And likewise with the arms, you can rest them beside you, you can take them overhead, or maybe you like to place a hand on your belly and on your chest to help guide your breath. And if you're comfortable doing so, I invite you to close your eyes. If you're not comfortable closing your eyes, then just lower your gaze. Keep it steady. Just take these first few moments to feel everything dropping into the ground. Maybe you can even feel how the organs inside your body respond to gravity and move toward the floor. Just imagining your insides relaxing. And feeling the outside sinking down, maybe a sense of heaviness, maybe just those points of contact, creating sensation. And then start to focus on your breathing, whatever it is.
Not quite picking up the audio.
Thank you. So we'll start to focus on the breathing. Initially, just letting it be how it is. And then deliberately breathing into the belly. Letting the belly round and fill as you breathe in. Relax and collapse as you breathe out. And then on your next breath, after you have filled your belly to capacity, keep breathing in and fill your ribs. Feel them spreading. And now on this next breath, breathing fully into the belly, then into the ribs, and then into the chest. The exhale is chest, ribs, belly. Now extend the arms out toward your thighs, having the hands above the ground. And on an exhale, we'll curl up, bring the knees toward the forehead toward the knees. And then on the inhale, we're going to reach the arms overhead, set the legs straight, head and feet off the ground. And then exhale, squeeze it in, inhale. If it starts to be too much on your neck, you can just use one hand behind your head and then just use the other one overhead and reach you forward. If you are using one hand behind your head, then switch to the other hand. Two more. And then hug the knees in, release the head down, and gently roll your head across the floor from side to side. Feel your breath, staying deep and slow in the rhythm of your breathing. Even if the movement is not quite coordinating, that's fine. Just keep the full 3-part breath alive. Okay, bring your head back to center. And we'll do a variation of what we just did. This time, when we pull the knees in, we're going to reach the hands over to one side and then straighten. And then bring the knees to the other side, hands cross, straighten. Knees slightly to the left as the arms come to the right, and vice versa. You can bring your head down in between if that would make it easier on your neck. Makes the whole thing a little easier. So I'm inhaling straight and exhaling as I crunch. See what works for you. But be mindful of the breath. Be deliberate about it. One more on each side. And then come center, hug the knees. Once again, gently roll the head across the floor. And just feel the line that the back of your head is drawing on the ground. Okay. Then bring the feet onto the floor, hip width apart, close to the sit bones, but not all the way to the sit bones, so the ankles are under the knees. Have the arms resting beside you, near your hands at your hips or so. And then on the inhale, we'll push into the feet, lift the hips, and send the arms up overhead, coming into a little bridge. And then on the exhale, we'll lower down, we'll bring the hands down, or add a little crunch, reaching past the thighs and lifting the head. Inhale, arms overhead, feet press down and forward, hips lift as high as you can, engage your glutes. Exhale, lower the hands, lower the buttocks, maybe lifting to a little crunch. Continue like that. You're doing the crunch, pull the belly down toward the back. As you exhale and curl yourself up. And then just one more. And then hold yourself in bridge with the hips lifted. And then place your right ankle on top of your left knee. Bring your arms down beside you. If you can clasp your hands under you and roll your shoulders under, go ahead and do that. Press into the arms to lift the chest, press into the foot to lift the buttocks, and then let that right knee drop down, flexing the right foot, lifting the left buttock. Focus on your breathing. Now straighten the right leg, but have the right knee alongside the left knee. So the leg is not high, the right knee is right next to the left knee. Push into that left foot, get the buttock higher. Release the hands if they're clasped, lower the buttocks down, and then slowly lower the right leg to the ground. Bend the knee, lift back up into your bridge. Clasp your hands under you if you can. Put the opposite thumb on the outside, whichever one feels less natural to you. Roll the shoulders under you. Place the left ankle on top of the right leg, just above the knee. Foot is flexed. Let the left knee drop down like there's a heavy weight suspended from it. And then push into your right foot and get that left buttock higher. Sorry, that right buttock higher. Breathe up into your chest. Now straighten the left leg, have the knee alongside the right one. Release the hands if they're clasped, lower onto your buttocks, and slowly lower the left leg down. Straighten both legs, shake them out. Okay. Now we're gonna lift the feet and cross the ankles. And we're gonna rock with so much momentum that we're gonna rock over our ankles onto hands and knees. Ankles need to be crossed. So you have the option of doing a basic cat and cow. You can choose to um, do the upward dog and downward dog that I'm going to do. You can add a chaturanga or yoga push up, or you can mix and match and be creative with it. Just so that you know that the spine is arching on the inhale and rounding on the exhale. So that's your basic move or downward dog. Not quite a rounding, but a folding on the exhale. And then flipping over to the tops of your feet, pulling your shoulders back, your eyes up for upward dog. Or, like I said, adding the plank as you inhale, lowering, hovering as you exhale, scooping up as you inhale, and back to downward dog on the exhale. Just find your own way, and you're not stuck in anything. So if you're doing something and you decide to change it, that's fine. And the next time you come into your exhale, join us all in downward dog if you're not doing that variation. Spread the fingers wide. And let's come up onto the tippy toes, bend the knees, and bring the belly as close to the thighs as possible. Feel the deep opening in the shoulders. Maybe let the head hang down. And then as you exhale, pull your belly up and sink your ribs down even more. Take a few nice deep breaths here. And then press the left heel down and send the right leg up, but straight up. So we're not rotating out to the side. You're just floating that right heel up, coming into a three-legged dog. Continuing to push forward into your hands and try to fold toward your left thigh. And then lift that right heel as high as you can. And then lower the right foot down. Come up onto the tippy toes. Bend the knees. Bring the ribs toward the thighs. And then press the right heel down. Send the left leg straight up so that both hip bones are pointing down toward the ground. Bring the chest toward the thigh, the head toward the ground, and the heel rises. Steady breath. And release the foot down. Good. And then come on to the knees. Walk the hands back so that they're under the shoulders. And send the right foot out to the side. And then bring the left hand out to the side. Hand roughly under the shoulder. I'm going to send that right leg up. Right arm up. Gazing up to the thumb. If you need help with the balance, you can always curl the back toes under for a little more stability. Okay, now I'm going to reach the right hand for the right foot. If you can't reach your foot, then hopefully you have a strap or a towel. And I'm going to kick back, let the shoulder roll back, take the gaze up, really kicking the foot into the hand. Feel where the breath goes. Okay. Release the foot back down, straight out. And then inhale and come up and over. We're just going to go back and forth a few times, reaching. Really feel the reach. Press into the hands and feet to help you extend through the reaching hand. Last time. Okay, when the hand comes down, I'm going to take it into a side plank. So come flat onto the palm if you can. Good. So some of you like a modified side plank and then you're in it. You're fine. If you can come fully into the side plank, you're going to lift your knee and extend your foot. Now, ideally, the right foot stacks on top of the left foot. Some people find that it's easier to have the foot on the floor, the top foot on the floor instead. That's fine. If you want to challenge yourself, you can close your eyes. If you want to challenge yourself more, you can lift your right leg off the left foot and hover it in the air. Okay, and then we're going to turn it to come into a plank. Now we're going to hold plank, but we're going to do an invisible crunch in plank. So you're going to tuck your tailbone under and you're going to squeeze your lower ribs toward your pubic bone and lift your pubic bone toward your ribs. Okay, bring the knees down. Walk the hands back around if you're using a mat. And then we'll send the left foot out. So the right hand is going to come down onto the ground, to the right under the shoulder. And the left leg is going to lift up parallel to the ground. Left arm up to the sky, gazing up to the thumb. That's not good on your neck, then you can gaze down. Get that foot up there. Great. Now reach back for the foot. Kick it back. See if that peels your shoulder open and folds your shoulder blade in. And then maybe drop your head back, looking up, breathing deep. Feeling where that expansion happens as you inhale. Good. And then releasing the foot back down and lifting up, going from side to side. So we're using these nice stabilizing muscles in the belly, but also working on a side stretch. So reaching, 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 getting the stretch. And then try not to press off your hands to go from side to side. Use your core to lift you and take you to the other side. Okay. The next time your hand comes down to the floor, we'll hold it there. Come all the way onto the palm. Stay here for a modified side plank or step that right foot under the left foot on top, or it can go onto the floor. If you want to challenge yourself more, closing the eyes adds a bit of a balance challenge. If you want to lift that left leg off the right leg, a little bit more strength required. See what works for you. Okay. Turn over onto all fours again. We're not going to stay in plank. We're going to lower to the ground. We're going to bend the elbows really close by the sides. So your arms are touching your ribs. And you lower slowly with control all the way to the floor. Beautiful. Let's take a moment here, feeling the weight of the body on the ground. Keeping the hands under the shoulders. Reach your elbows back for your ankles. Feel the space that makes up in the neck. And then press the pubic bone down into the ground. Feel where the breath swells as you take it in. Where the body releases as you breathe out. Then we're going to take it up into a cobra. So you can do a nice low cobra. Or if it's okay on your back and you wish to go farther, there's absolutely no need to. But if you want to come into a king cobra, you come all the way up, straightening your arms as much as you can. Again, a low cobra is perfectly acceptable. So in cobra, the pubic bone stays on the ground. We roll the shoulders down the back. We're extending the heart forward, rolling the eyes up. If the elbows are bent, they're by your side. Finding breath. Okay, and then push the buttocks back to the heels, coming into an extended child's pose. Pushing forward with the hands, lengthening the spine, pressing hips back. Let the forehead release down. And then bring the hands under the shoulders, lifting your torso. Lift the buttocks off the heels and curl the toes under, and then lift the knees so that you're in a squat. Okay. Now, we're going to try to bring the heels to the ground. So, two strategies for that. One is taking the feet wider, one is angling the feet so that the heels are in and the toes are out. And then we're going to take hold of the right wrist with the left hand. I forgot to say, if your heels don't come to the ground, grab a pillow or a towel or something and put them under your heels for support. Hopefully, if you go wide enough, you're able to get low enough so that you feel balanced, even if you're supporting yourself with a prop. So the left hand is going to take the right wrist and we're going to reach across to the left. Just let the head kind of rest on the left shoulder. Just pull back a little bit with the right hip down through the right sit bone. Okay, and change sides. Right hand takes left wrist, reaching across to the right. So it's good for the ankle joints to really challenge them into this really deep bend. As we explore this diagonal side stretch. Really, the breath is doing most of the stretching for us. See if you can feel that. Okay, and then come center. Bring the palms together. Or if you want, you can bring your fists together and really push those knees out wide, getting that stretch in the inner thighs. And then lifting up through the chest, pull the belly in and down. Good. Now lift the heels. We're going to try to do a crow, also known as crane. So, key things, hands are shoulder width apart. If they're wider, then you collapse. We also need to stack the bones. So, we're going to lean forward enough until the elbow lines up right over the wrist. If the elbow starts to go out, you lose all the strength that the bones give you. It's not really a pose that requires a lot of strength if you do it correctly. It's just bone stacking vertically. So the knees are hopefully already resting on the backs of the arms. We want to keep them there. And then just lift the buttocks up like a stink bug and then shift forward and forward and forward and forward until the elbows line up over the feet and the feet can come up off the ground. I'm just going to watch and see if I can get feedback. With the hands forward. Yep. Keep leaning toward the camera. Nice. Very nice. Practice pace. Okay, yeah, it's intense on the wrists. So we'll come down. I'm going to sit on my feet. If you can sit on your feet, join me there. If that's not working on your knees, sit however, just so that we can take a bit of a stretch in the hands, bringing the backs of the hands together, kind of like an inverted namaste. So the elbows are bent, the wrists lift, and the elbows press down. Yeah. And then just circle the hands around each other. Exactly. Go the other way. And then send the arms out. Make light fists with the hands. And let's stretch those forearm muscles. Circling the hands at the wrists. I love this stretch. And go the other way. Great. And rest the arms down. Curl the toes under and come back onto the bottoms of your feet. And then we're going to lift the hips, but not straighten the legs. Going to let the ribs rest on the tops of the thighs. The knees are bent. And then we're going to rock back into our heels. We're not going to lift the toes off the floor, but the weight is going to be in the heels. And then we're just going to lift the body and take the arms up overhead, coming into a chair pose. So you don't want your knees forward. Your toes are further forward than your knees. And then sit down really nice and low. Steady your breath. Okay, now lift your heels, come onto your toes, and send your arms forward. Straight out in front of you. The knees bent, also facing forward. Okay. And then lower the heels, send the arms up, palms face forward, coming into a backward bend. Lifting the chest, lifting the gaze, maybe looking at the wall behind you. Reaching up through the fingertips and pressing back through the fingernails. Tailbone moves under you. Feet push down to lift the chest up. Beautiful. And then we'll swan dive down, straight legs, forward bend. So let's start by taking hold of opposite elbows. And just letting the weight of the elbows pull toward the floor. The arms are framing the head. The ears are alongside the inner arms. And then push down into the feet and lift the thighs. Breathe long and slow. When you exhale, scoop the belly in and up. Okay, reverse swan dive all the way up. And exhale, hands together at the heart. Step the legs wide apart. And the heels are going to be as wide as the baby toes. So it's going to feel like you're pigeon toeing your feet, but actually you're just trying to make the outer edges of your feet parallel to each other, parallel to the edges of your mat if you're using a mat. So heels in line with the baby toe, not angled, but wide. Great. So here the hands can either stay alongside of you, they'll be behind you as we move into the posture. Come out to the side is a little bit harder, or overhead is the hardest. Start with a breath in, and then exhale and come halfway forward, just until the torso is parallel to the ground, and hold there. Slow, long breath. And then the left hand comes down, and the right hand lifts up, coming into a twist. Feel the fullness of your breath. And right hand comes down, left hand comes up, turn the ribs to the left, take the gaze to the thumb. And then bring the hand down. And then we'll bring the hands to the outer legs. If you can reach the feet, you can take the feet or anywhere that you reach. If you can wrap your hands around your heels, go ahead and do that. And then inhale and lift your chin. Push into your feet, pull your thighs up, and exhale and release your head down. Using your hands to give a little pull. And then bring the hands to the hips, elbows to the sky. Come up with a flat back. All the way up. Turn the left foot 90 degrees in. Turn the right foot so that the toes are facing as much in as you can. Heel back, toes in. Beautiful. We're going to come into warrior two. Now, we're gonna be really careful with this left knee. So we're gonna watch the knee come forward, and we're gonna still see the first two toes of that foot on the inside. You might see more, but at least the first two. Now bring your right hand to your left waist. Take a breath in. And then when you exhale, pull and turn your torso to the right. So you're pulling with that right hand toward the right, turning your ribs and torso to the right. So your belly is facing front, even though your knee is facing sideways. Okay. Send that right arm out. Left arm. And then sink down. Let the shoulders relax down. Turn your gaze to the left, looking past your left hand. Then we'll take it into reverse warrior. You can either bring your right hand onto your leg and bring the left arm up in the traditional reverse warrior. Or for those of you who can and want to, come into a bind. That left hand comes up, the elbow bends, and you find your back, and then your right hand comes up your back, and the fingers find each other. Not for everyone, obviously. If you want to try it but can't quite reach and you have a strap, the strap is in your right hand and then hangs down and finds your left hand. And then we lean back just like we do in our reverse warrior. Release the arms. Pivot the feet the other way. Right foot 90 degrees, left foot about 45. Heel back, toes in. Okay, so we want to think about the torso facing front, but we're turning the head, just the head, to watch this knee. And let the knee bend. So you want to keep it over the ankle and not let it collapse in. Left hand comes to the right ribs. Take a breath. And then as you exhale, pull the ribs around, spinning them to the left. And then release, and the arms out. Sink the tailbone down, lower into your stance. Drop the shoulders, and then just gently turn your head to the right, looking past your middle finger. Spiral your inner thighs out. Okay. Reverse warrior. Either hand on the leg and right arm up, or right arm bends, left hand walks up your back, finding the right hand or using the strap or towel to create that bind, and then leaning back. Breathe. And release. Turn the feet to face front. Bring the hands to the ground, bring the knees to the ground. We're gonna bring the arms under us, letting them cross. Notice which one is in back, which one is in front. And then come onto the forehead and let the weight of the chest sink down on the arms. Nice slow breath, feeling yourself starting to calm. Hopefully you're not starting to calm. You've been calm, but I do know that sometimes the challenging postures can amp us up a little. Okay, lift the head and then bring the other arm in front. Come back down onto the forehead if you can. If your forehead doesn't reach, you can just let it hang, or if you have a prop, that's always better to rest on. Really just let the weight of your torso drop. From this, a breath. Okay, and then lifting up, planting your hands, coming onto your buttocks, feet on the ground, rolling down onto the back. Lift the hips, tuck the tailbone, release the legs, shake them out. If you have an eye pillow, place that on your eyes. Let the arms rest out away from your body. Take a deep breath in through the nose, exhale out of the mouth, releasing the body into the ground. Inhale through the nose, exhale out of the mouth, releasing the jaw. And then in through the nose, out through the mouth, letting go of the activity of the mind, feeling the sensation of breath and letting go of actively breathing, just letting the breath be passive. And see if you can bring all your attention to the breath without interfering, just observing as a bystander. Be curious about your breath. Letting the body relax, letting go, letting go, letting go. Breathe into your heart. Move fingers and toes. Reach the arms overhead. Take a deep breath. Stretch them out. Hug the knees to the chest. Rocking gently side to side. Feeling the ground, massaging your back. And then come center up, hand to hand and foot to foot. Come over onto either side, resting your head on your underside arm. Resting the body on the ground. Feeling the effects of the practice. Maybe having some gratitude for your willingness to show up and give yourself this healing, this nourishing. And when you're ready, make your way up to sitting. Sit any way you're comfortable, sinking down to the sit bones, lifting tall to the crown of the head. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, palms together in front of the heart center. Inhale, lift your heart to your hands. Exhale, shoulders relax down. Inhale deeply, breathing in from bottom to top. Take it all in. Let it all go. Bring the chin to the chest. Namaste.